It's a blessing to welcome on a top prospect in 2021 and the first guy is Gonzaga top 25 recruiting class, Kaden Perry. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, let's get into this. You've been now committed for over a year now, and you kind of got to see this whole Gonzaga 2020 class come into effect. You see Jalen Suggs all-time highest commit now. You've seen Ben Gregg get out of your class. You see this kind of come together at Gonzaga. What's it like seeing this?
I mean, it's exciting, especially being their first recruit for class of 2021 and seeing who my future teammates are going to be. Committing this early is giving me an opportunity to start looking at the future recruits and seeing what will be like. So it's been an amazing experience just seeing the team form in front of me.
And this is the scary thing about Gonzaga right now. Coach Few's developed guys at an insane level, produced a top level program for many years now, but now he's adding in these top 100, top 50, top 10, even Jalen Suggs case, and all this kind of stuff. You kind of started off. You're one of the first guys. You're a four-star, borderline five-star kind of player. What's it like kind of knowing that you started this?
I mean, it's exciting. I mean, obviously, I'm not as high ranked as guys like Jalen Suggs, but knowing that I'll have guys that are at that higher level to just push me and hopefully get me up to their level is just exciting to see what kind of camaraderie we'll be able to form there.
Ben's the most recent addition now. You and Ben together have had some chemistry, played with each other a couple different events before. How excited do you have him part of Gonzaga?
Well, I'm super excited. I've played with the Rebels with Ben. I played with him for a while. I've heard about him for a while, even before I played with him. We were roommates for almost every tournament, and I've known he's wanted that Gonzaga offer forever. So the second I knew he got it, I knew we'd be teammates, and I'm super looking forward to playing with him again.
So, did you have much of a recruiting impact on him, or was it kind of just you knew he was going to go there once he got that offer?
I knew he was going to go there once he had that offer. I remember one of the tournaments, I think it was right after I committed, I asked him, I was like, yo, Ben, if you could have any offer, you can go anywhere. Where would you go? He goes, I want to go to Gonzaga with you, buddy. So I didn't think I had to do much recruiting after that. I was kind of just waiting for him to get the offer.
Now, when you hear and you kind of found out he was going to become your teammate, it's official now. How excited did that make you?
I mean, I'm excited basketball wise and just personnel wise. I'll be going to college and I'll have someone that I know, a familiar face to get to know the guys around, and hopefully it'll be a much easier transition with him there.
We can talk about other targets in a second, but I think the big one everyone's waiting for and seeing is Chet Holgrum, number one overall player in your guys' class. How's that looking? What would it be like to add him into this group?
I mean, with Jalen Suggs, and I already know they have chemistry. Someone like Chet would be just huge, another high-ranked player. I played with him, and his skill set with how big he is and how the way he moves on the court would be awesome at Gonzaga and would just make us even more of a threat. So hopefully, with luck, we get him, but we just got to wait and see.
That's the thing. I think some people that might look at it say, well, you guys are kind of all power forward, center kind of position guys, but all three of you guys can really run multiple positions. You guys are really versatile. You guys really fit what Mark Few likes to do with his players. How do you think you guys would fit, though? I mean, three of you guys that are kind of the power forward center range. How do you guys play together?
I know Ben definitely plays outrange, and I've also seen Chet likes to play outrange. And I personally, I like being big body. I like being the one down low, jumping high, and pushing in. So I would personally like to have them working around me and have me trying to clear stuff and pass it out to them. But we'll have to see what Mark Few wants, and I know he'll do what's best for our squad.
You're a kind of special player. I've said before, when you kind of compare you to guys like Jared Allen, those kind of guys that just pick and roll guys that are athletic, but you also have another part to your game. You are a lot stronger than those guys are too. You can play the green grind down low. Kind of take us through your game. What exactly will you bring to Gonzaga?
I just want to be the strong. I want to hustle every single play, be the first big guy down there, be the first one in the key, and jumping for every rebound, trying to block every shot. I want to be the momentum player that gets us going, gets that big block, gets that big tip or something. I just want to be that energy guy.
When did you start learning how to use your height, both your athleticism, your height, just use all your tangibles you have in your game?
I mean, I've always been tall, so I've always just been relying on that. But I don't think maybe probably till my sophomore year I started realizing how I'm the big guy that's in every game. I'm running the court. I'm out jumping everyone, especially with my height. So I just started capitalizing on that, and then lifting now is just making me even bigger and stronger and more athletic. And I've just been keep adding on to that.
You've had some run with Seattle Rotary. You guys put together another phenomenal team. Paulo, potential other number one overall player in your guys' class. You guys had Nolan Hickman, guys going out to Kentucky now. There's a lot of talent in this team. What was it like playing with them?
That was awesome. I mean, that's easily like one of the highest talented team I've played with. It taught me a lot more, especially getting closer to that college level, what a top level point guard is going to be like, what playing with another top level big guy is going to be like that plays similar to I do. It just taught, especially in practice as well, learning how to guard guys like that. I just feel like it elevated my game that much higher.
You mentioned the point guard aspect, and that's something I think really was an underrated transition this past year because of all the transfers that happened, all the COVID effect stuff. But Gonzaga landed Andrew Nembhard, which is the guy that was a top recruit a year ago, a guy that I think is going to be a phenomenal point guard. How excited to be able to play with him?
I'm just really excited. I mean, obviously, top level point guard, you can't go wrong being a big guy, getting them open or them giving you a nice dime. I mean, really can't go wrong with a guy like that.
Now, we have a kind of good feeling that Jalen Suggs, he could potentially be a one-and-done guy. He's that kind of type of player. But if he does stay, you guys keep Dominic Harris, you guys keep Julian, Andrew's out there, talk about Ben, you, possibly even Chet. What could you guys accomplish?
I mean, I don't think there's much we couldn't accomplish. I mean, Gonzaga's constantly getting to the Final Four, and hopefully we can bring home a dub.
That is the next transition point. We see Gonzaga always the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, gets to around the Final Four, Elite Eight range. They haven't been able to make that next jump to win a national championship. What will it take to do that?
I think just the heart and determination. I mean, they had it last year. If it wasn't for COVID, I mean, who knows where they would have gone. But I think they're hungry. They kind of got robbed this last season. And I feel like they're going to come out with it and then hopefully just keep that transition off a high-rolling season this season than with us coming in next year.
I want to mention a little bit of Dominic Harris, Julian Strada. I think both those guys are very underrated players, guys that are going to become phenomenal players at Gonzaga. But do you happen to have a relationship with any one of those guys yet?
I have not. I have followed them and I've watched a little bit of their games, but I haven't really reached out to them or anything like that.
So over the course of the year, you have a year to get on campus. How do you build bond with the guys on the team right now, but also how do you prepare for the season for you personally?
Preparing for this season, I mean, I'm just trying to get as many shots up as I can, get as big, as strong as I can. Other guys on the team, I'm definitely planning on reaching out to more of the Gonzaga recruits. I mean, I'm already trying to chat a little bit more with Ben. And just see what everyone else is working on, and hopefully maybe we can even I can get some runs in with Ben and then the closer guys.
And when you guys have it in terms of high school, let's talk about that a little bit. Last year you put up a phenomenal season, and you have 23.7 points per game, 15 rebounds, 3.5 blocks a game, 1 steal, 1 assist. I mean, you pretty much did every single thing on the court. How did them become that versatile?
It's always just hard work. I mean, I always try and be on the court, don't really try to take any breaks and just hustle for everything. I mean, a bunch of big guys, especially at the high school level, they can go in for a couple up and downs, but just being quick and athletic and just giving it your all and everything really helps get those stats up.
You're at Battleground. You're now going to play your 4th season out there. That's not typical for a lot of guys. We see a lot of movement going to the prep school route, playing the national schedule. Why have you decided to stay home?
A bunch of the coaches have put a lot of work in with me at Battleground, and I want to show them what they put their work into and help them get out of that. But especially as part of it, committing so early, I don't really feel like I need to go out there and get all that exposure. And so playing with Battleground, the guys I've been with, I just want to finish it out with my friends and get the typical high school experience.
I know a lot of guys were considering it, but COVID shut down that option completely for a lot of guys. If COVID wasn't in effect, would that maybe been something you might have ventured into or looked into a little bit more?
Maybe a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure I would have still stayed at Battleground and finished it out there.
And so a lot of guys go out there and we don't see a typical guy staying 4 years at the high school. That's something that shows loyalty, that shows them that you guys are a leader. What does it mean to be able to accomplish that?
I mean, it doesn't really mean all that much, but I mean, just showing, I hope that can show that I'm loyal. I'll put in the work with my program, even at its lowest and at its highs, that I'm a guy that'll stay there and I'll try and get it up.
Senior season, what's your goals both personally and as a team?
Hopefully we can make it back to the state tournament, meaning that all happens considering with COVID and all that. But I want to be much more of a leader. I know I'm going to go next year as a freshman and I'm not going to be nearly as vocal. I might be a little timid, but I want to start getting the roles in and being the strong leader that can help dominate the court and get vocal on the court.
You guys lost in the first round this past season. This is your senior year. I can imagine, like you said, your goal is to win state championship. What do you have to do to be able to achieve that ultimate goal?
We need to work more as a team, and me personally, I'm going to try and do more. I'm high school level. I'm a lot of in the key kind of guy. I'm not really out on the wing all that much, and so I've been working on that a lot since COVID and stuff has been down. And I'm hoping to surprise everyone this year and be a much more versatile player.
So we can start expecting some more threes and some more outside the key kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we already mentioned your stat line. It was incredible this past year. How do you build on that? What do you think you're capable of averaging next season?
I mean, hopefully getting around that 26 line. I mean, if I can get it where I'm just consistently hitting them elbow jumpers and stuff like that, I mean, there's not really anyone that can stop me.
Couldn't agree more. And I know you also added on the 10 pounds of muscle since the end of the season. How do you plan to utilize that, and how's that benefiting you so far?
Just being even more athletic, more dominant in the key already than I have been, just turned it into bully ball down low, making me a force where they have to do something to keep me out of the key.
At your size, much as many guys can stop you, as one is in your state Paulo. What are those battles like, and what would it be like to go against him if you guys do again?
Ooh, Paulo is quick, shifty. He's strong. That's always a good one. Just it just comes up to being defense and seeing who slips first. I mean, it's always a battle.
Would you say that's your favorite matchup in the state?
Yes, for sure. I had a lot of fun guarding Paulo.
I know a lot of people were wondering if Gonzaga was ever going to be an option. Clearly, we know that's a different option he's going to take now. But if you guys get a play shot at the college level, pro someday, what would that be like?
I mean, it'll be exciting. It'll be a battle, especially just with us playing against each other and with each other several times. I mean, I look forward to it to be even a bigger rivalry than it already is between Gonzaga and Duke.
We haven't always heard a lot of players come from Washington that's become elite. There are a lot of guys kind of underrated and make it to the NBA, but I feel like you guys are getting a lot more spotlight, a lot more attention now. What's like seeing this rise of Washington basketball?
I mean, it's exciting because I've always been told that there's some bunch of looks in Portland and stuff, especially and even, but just having more attention, seeing that there's more elite guys in here will hopefully get other kids and stuff motivated around here to keep working and so that it can happen.
Who are some of those young guys? Who do you expect to rise up and kind of break out in the next couple of years?
Ooh. I mean, I've already seen a bunch of of the younger guys, like Mookie for one, as he's young, but he's already risen. I think he just got moved up a couple spots as like top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing that people can just rise up and, I mean, anyone can do it.
Now let's get back to Gonzaga a little bit. We talked about Coach Few. He's going to put together a great class, one of the best coaches, not just in the NCAA today, but NCAA history. How excited are you to be coached by him?
Oh, excited. I mean, Mark Few is one of the main reasons I chose Gonzaga, seeing what they're able to do with big, strong guys like me, and I'm hoping they can develop my game even further, and I'm just super excited to see what Mark Few is able to do with us big guys.
I don't always like ask this question until you guys do commit, but growing up, was Gonzaga your dream school, or who was your dream school growing up?
It was Gonzaga. I didn't think much that way. I went to their summer camp or their basketball camp there, and that's when I started considering options. And then I started watching them after that, shortly after, and I just fell in love, and I knew that's where I wanted to go.
You did commit on the spot a year ago, and back then it looked kind of crazy. I mean, you're going there a year early on the spot. Obviously, you didn't know COVID was going to come into effect. It kind of makes you look a little bit smart for that reasons, but going through that, just know that you wanted to commit a year in advance. Why was that decision you want to take?
I didn't really have any other doubts in my mind. I knew Gonzaga wherever was where I wanted to go, so I didn't see really any point to wait. I knew that if I was going to show them, hey, I'm ready to do it right now, that they're going to be able to put their faith in me and know that I'm loyal.
Why did you know at the moment that was the right school, and what was Coach Few's reaction when you did tell me you were going to go there?
The reaction, I mean, it was kind of just like after shaking their hands and then like, hey, we're offering you, and me telling them I'm going to do it. Like I left after talking with Mark Few and all the other coaches, and it just hit me like, wow, like all my work, everything I've been putting in just kind of happened right there. And it was starstruck for like even like 2 days after that. It just gets me all warm on the inside. I mean, I was just shocked. I mean, remember leaving to the camp and my coach being like, hey, you have to be prepared. Like it's possible that you got an offer. I mean, I was shrugging it off. I wasn't 100% sure. I wasn't even sure if I was at that level for them to be looking at me that intently. So seeing that I actually did it and that they were ready to give me that offer, I mean, it was just a big pat on the back to myself almost.
How about Coach Few? I mean, you do tell him a couple of days later that you're going to be attending Gonzaga. What was his reaction and the rest of the coaches' reactions?
I mean, Mark Few is kind of a quiet guy. I mean, he definitely seemed excited, and I talk to Mark Few every couple of times, and he seems more excited the more closer it gets. But I mean, I think he knew what he was getting himself into.
And that's something we see coaches. I mean, a lot of people know coaches for what they do on the court. Sometimes maybe some different interviews that pop up, but you kind of talk to him on a more personal level, get to know him. What's like off the court just as a human being?
Oh, he's just a super nice guy. He's a little quiet, but he's just a genuine nice person.
How are the assistant coaches? I know there's some guys out there that kind of plays I always like tend to go to that kind of recruiting you the hardest for a while. Who's the assistant coach you're really close to?
Brian Michelson, he almost texts me, almost calls me every single day. I'm talking to him a lot, tell him my workout schedule, telling him what's troubling me in school. I mean, I'm almost chatting with him every day.
Have the relationship with one of the coaches. What's that like?
I mean, it's also part of the great thing. I'm glad I chose Gonzaga because I'm not sure. I didn't have a very long recruiting process, but from several of the coaches that texted me, he was always the most active and the most engaged, and it definitely gave me that close relationship that makes me feel even closer to Gonzaga, even though I'm not there yet.
Was there any other schools in the mix? Were you considering anyone else when you did commit there?
Not not really. I was always kind of. It might sound selfish, but I mean, every offer I got or every little coach I heard from, I was always like, okay, that's like one step closer. I'm just waiting for that next call. So, I mean, if I didn't get the offer as soon as I didn't commit as soon as I did, and I was still waiting during this time, I would probably be considering other schools.
So you pretty much knew growing up though that Gonzaga was a school you're gonna be going to.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got a year now. But when you do get to that point, you set that jersey in your locker and you put that on. You step foot on the court, rather it be starting off the bench, whatever that looks like. What's gonna go through your mind?
Ooh, just excited. I know the crowd there is absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Probably a lot of butterflies, probably a lot of nerves, but hopefully just get on the court and do what I do best.
That's awesome, man. Now, give Gonzaga fans something that they can expect from you. You talked about in terms of what you'll bring to a team, but are there any players you kind of compare yourself to or you play a lot like?
I mean, I know Gonzaga fans are like, I get compared to Brandon Clarke all the time, just a hustler, can jump out of the gym. And so that's something that we'll be able to look forward to is hopefully I can live up to his shoes.
And that's another thing. Gonzaga, as I said, has always had a productive program for the past few years. Last year was the first year of having two guys that should have been lottery pick. I think Brandon Clarke fell to number 22, 23, but we see should have been a lottery pick. And Rui Hachimura is a special talent.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
you see these guys that are transitioning to the NBA and producing. How much more excited does that make you to see what Coach Few could develop you into?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, knowing that they had those two guys this year and then guys like Jalen Suggs are coming in, possibly Chet, me and Ben already being able to see what we do and knowing that they'll be able to take us that much higher, it just makes it that much more exciting.
That's awesome. Well, let's kind of talk about family a little bit. I know your mom has dealt with some different stuff. She has GPS. How have you dealt with that? How has that kind of impacted your life?
I mean, it changed it a bunch. It happened, I think, my freshman year. It made me grow up a lot faster, seeing that I had to be more responsible for my brother and my family and stuff, and not having a mom. My mom was my world. My mom's my rock, and so not having her around definitely changed me. It made me that much closer to basketball. I was in a pretty dark place when it all happened, and the only time I wasn't down on myself or down in the gutters was when I was on the court shooting hoops, and it made me love it that much more.
So how have you gotten through it? What's some of the people or things you kind of relied on to help get you through that?
My team, my battleground team, they were like family to me when all that was happening. They're super supportive. My head coach, Manny Mello, love him. He's he's almost like family to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just yeah, I just used my team, used my family, and we all got through it together.
That's awesome, man. I know you also got invited to the top 100 camp. That's a pretty big thing that's been coming up now. I do know you also declined that option. What went into that decision?
Unfortunately, just my mom, as you said, has Guillain-Barré syndrome, so she already has a damaged immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And with the risk of COVID, we just are a little worried with even with the traveling with Rotary and stuff. We're just worried. I would hate to go somewhere, especially in Dallas where the numbers are higher, or Texas where the numbers are higher. I'd hate to bring it back and put her at risk. So we just decided it'd be safer to stay home.
And so you've had now about 6, 7, 8 months now, whatever we are with COVID, of at-home grinding. You've talked about adding on weight. You've got a lot of comments added on. What's kind of your workout routine? What have you been doing all this past time with a lot of stuff being shut down?
We have Shoot 360 open down here, which is just a gym. They have the guns that shoot. So I'm getting up around 350 shots, I think, around almost every day. And then I'm lifting a heavy upper body and starting to do endurance stuff every day to keep adding on, just keep making myself that more of an elite player.
A few guys have brought up the aspect of you guys didn't have a full AU season, which isn't really what you guys wanted to have, but at the same time, it's helped preserve you guys' bodies a little bit. We know you have the ultimate goal, playing the NBA, and that kind of adds up over time. What kind of benefit do you think this will have now for your career going forward?
Hopefully, like right here is a dominant senior season. I know playing year round is always good to get recruitment and stuff, but I know personally me, my body be beat. I'm not performing as well as I have. So I know I'll be coming into this senior year strong, and hopefully it'll have prevented other injuries and make me that much stronger when I get to the next level.
I also heard that if basketball doesn't pan out for you, second option could be singing. What's that like? Take us through that whole passion.
Woo, singing is I love I love singing. I sing all the time. I even sing on the basketball court and during the game and stuff. So I mean, that is always an option.
Haven't been caught off guard by that?
No. It's normally quiet to myself, but it gets me in the mood at free throw line. If I'm shooting free throws or I'm just waiting for someone to shoot free throws, I sometimes hum to myself, say to myself. It gets me going with the right song, you know.
Can we ever expect a potential national anthem or some kind of song performed by you at Gonzaga?
If they give me the opportunity, I would not deny it. I'd give it a shot.
And so, I'm take us through that. When did you find that passion? When did you first start singing?
I mean, as long as I can remember, I've always been singing. I remember my mom giving me like her MP3 player or something forever ago, and I just since then, when I was little, just been singing since then. And then I'm just loud and obnoxious. I'd be in the hallways at school singing, making sure everyone could hear me. So it's just fun. It's fun to mess around with.
So it's not really a quiet passion anymore. Everyone knows you like singing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that good at it, but everyone knows I like singing. Everyone will hear my voice.
That's awesome. So how about other things off the court? When you go to Gonzaga, have you kind of thought about what career path you might be looking at, what kind of degree you might be looking at?
Not really. I mean, I know I should, especially with how close it's been getting, but I've just always been so focused on basketball that I'm hoping that for a future career will be the NBA. So I haven't super thought about what I'm going to study there, but I'm going to start looking into that more.
You mentioned the NBA. That's the thing I know all guys want to do. And you're a guy that does have the ability to do that. You're a top player. You have all the skill sets to do it. But for you personally, when do you think you'll be able to go to the NBA? What do you need to add to your game so that you're confidently ready to go to the pros?
I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully this first year at Gonzaga will show me what I need. I mean, of course, there's always the idea of one and done, but hopefully I can take that year. If it goes well and that's what happens, it happens. But hopefully I can see how I perform going up against other top tier guys constantly and see what I need to add to myself until I know when I'm ready.
And I want to look at this picture. I mean, it's not really even a mid-major anymore, but theoretically in basketball terms, Gonzaga is a mid-major if you want to call it that. But we've seen now this rise of all these mid-majors, low-major guys becoming NBA players, becoming elite programs in the country. And you've seen that. I mean, what's it like seeing the rise of all this mid-major and just how much more talent in college basketball?
I mean, it's exciting, especially because you said Gonzaga is a mid-major. It just means that it's that much more accessible, especially with us going there. It just shows that how elite they are and what they're able to do with their skill set.
Couldn't agree more, man. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One is kind of discussing your legacy. I think that's something that all people want to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
Hopefully off the court, I want to be a leader. I want to be a voice for people. So with the platform, with basketball comes a platform, and hopefully I can use that to voice for people and help make advances. On the court, I want to just be known as the hustle player. You know, I don't need to do all that fancy stuff. I just big, strong, run in the court, no complaints. I just want to be known for hustling.
No doubt, man. My final thing, give Gonzaga fans your 3 biggest goals you have set for your Gonzaga career.
My 3 biggest goals at Gonzaga, lead them back to the top 4, obviously. I mean, hopefully get a championship and just dominate every game. Hopefully try to have an undefeated season.
That's awesome, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Keep doing your thing, man. Best luck this upcoming season.
Thank you.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless.